Since the dawn of mankind, humans have toyed with the idea of expansion and have questioned the limits of planet Earth. Thanks to scientific discoveries by some of the greatest minds of the Renaissance and before, the debate of reason versus religion arose and translated into the creation of the first science fiction works. In Syria, for example, Lucian of Samosata creates True History, a satire of Greek mythological works such as the Odyssey and Iliad. In Germany, Kepler, a great astronomer and mathematician, writes Insomnium, which links the mysteries of dreams in astronomy. These early writings are well known in today's society, and some have made children's books, such as the Arabian Nights. In the modern era, during the 19th century, scientific discovery was at its strongest. Many therefore questioned whether science fiction should shift to a focus on technology or maintain an inclination toward character development. H.G. Wells utilizes the story of a time machine in order to denounce the inhumane nature of the Industrial Revolution. Jules Verne, on the other hand, focused on adventure fiction which challenged the limits of scientific truth, such as The Journey to the Center of the Earth. At this point, science fiction was not mainstream, making these two authors true fathers of the genre. At the beginning of the 20th century, physics was a hotspot for discoveries, from Rutherford's discovery of the atom's structure to Einstein's work on early relativity. Science fiction was highly influenced by our new understanding of the world. Asimov, one of science fiction's most admired authors, published The Last Man on Earth. This was not a success in the science fiction world, as it solely featured Asimov in order to sell the book, when in reality it was a compilation of other authors. Regardless, it shined a light on all the possible outcomes that humans could face if they do not control themselves, whether it be from greed or curiosity. This echoes the scientific research of the time, such as Marie Curie's work with radioactivity. On the other hand, Huxley presents a dystopian world that is a product of man's desire for perfection. Both of these novels were shocks to society and helped open the minds of many. The golden age of science fiction is highly debated but generally is considered as 1930 to 1950. During this time, there was the creation of a science fiction community as well as early fandoms, including some children. Space operas were created and science fiction film adaptations began to gain traction. Astounding Science was a fiction magazine which covered many different types of science fiction. Since it was a magazine, it gained a recurring audience and changed how people viewed science fiction. With the rapid advances in science and the post-war sentiment, Orwell published 1984, in which he exemplifies an authoritarian government founded on censorship. This introduces a darker side to science fiction. The golden age of science fiction is considered to be the period when science fiction became mainstream and considered to many as an actual genre. Asimov said that the dropping of the atom bomb in 1945 made science fiction respectable. During the Cold War, science fiction became scarily realistic. McCarthyism was spreading in the US, and the fear of the Soviet Union was exemplified in science fiction. Leigh was well versed in rocketry and brought the space race to his novels, such as his Galaxy series. Noon 22nd Century is a collection of stories ranging from doctors stranded on Mars to a character exploring a global system of moving roadways. Both of these novels touch on the importance of space exploration for civilization development. With the Cold War, talks about conquest are taboo, so science fiction is a powerful technique to mention such topics. After Vietnam and the fall of the Berlin Wall, political issues were replaced with economic ones. Society had calmed down and could expand the science fiction genre. This time period is representative of the true inclusion of science fiction into popular culture. Thanks to film versions of many novels, science fiction becomes a part of society. People begin to invest themselves into the stories and lore of the series, such as Star Trek and Star Wars. While Stashev's novel focuses on space exploration, Scott's Ender's Game explores the relationship between humans and aliens. During this period, science fiction conventions are created and become a big part of fans' commitment to the novels. Many people also begin to collect comic books and items relating to the books. In the end of the 20th and beginning of the 21st centuries, science fiction dies down a little and is replaced by fantasy, such as Harry Potter and Game of Thrones. Technological advances confirm some of the earlier science fiction theories, and therefore science fiction can only rely on character development and must remove itself from experimental technology. R.R. Martin develops on the current desire to colonize Mars. On the other hand, King decides to take a fantasy route and develops an imaginary world. As we can see by these two examples, in the 21st century, anything is allowed in science fiction, and therefore authors take liberties and develop the stories and characters that fit their agenda.